Why hello there, my fellow Stateless. Radamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Homeworld. Episode 53. Stateless Paradise. So I'm going to do the integrated point defense boost. So all small, non-missile, non-strike weapons are classified as point defense, which means my tactical lasers. Again, this isn't meta. It's wonky and weird, but like that's what I wanted. And then let's definitely do the aux thrusters as built-in so I have more mobility, because that was a big issue. That's all the experience I have right now, and then everything else in here will just be advanced optics, maybe hardened shields, solar shielding, stabilized shields, and hardened shields. I won't even do hardened shields. And then I'm going to want a whole bunch of flux stuff. So I can just like, yeah. It's not my final build, but like, this is a work in progress. Okay, cool. Prepare. And we're set for deployment. It took me a minute. Okay, checking the officers. None here. And an ink. No admins either. Oh god, okay. What a slog. So you are Barren World in the Velfar system, so we know where you are. You're like at Luke or Kadark. That's fine. Let's see how absolutely bad that conquest is. I'm really, really curious. I've never, in all of my hours playing this game, never, I would say, have had a conquest that I've liked. Which is why I usually leave them out of my fleet composition, but like, first time for everything, right? One thing that changes ship design incredibly is bionics. Not that my own captains have like customed bionics, but I could definitely imagine carefully custom tuning ships S-mods with captains for like biggest bang for your buck. It's not something I've been doing, but like if you really wanted to get into the weeds, I'm sure you could go and do stuff like that for like incredibly well designed and thoughtful loadouts. I think there's a, yeah, there it is. It's not why I'm here, but I'll blow it up too. One of the things I've been doing for my own bionics is just like well-rounded maneuverability and top speed, because you can never really have enough maneuverability and top speed. But I could, of course, custom tune for like a specific loadout so that I was really powerful at one thing. The worry is you don't want to be a one-trick pony where like you can only handle one type of engagement and not others, because then you're constantly having to like redeploy, which gets old fast. Well, I can't really say with any certainty that conquest over there is like being effective, but it's also not being ineffective. It's somewhere in between. It seems okay. And what I can tell you is the mods I put in this Paragon are just, I don't need to worry about my flux almost at all. I haven't seen the lasers go against too many missiles though. The enemies haven't been launching a lot of missiles at me. But maybe if I'm patient. Because it's fun to see all the tac lasers and the like act as PD. you go. You know, I really do sort of like the fleet composition. I'm surprised by how mobile that Conquest is. It's just like whipping around the battlefield. I mean, its rotation maneuverability is very up there, and it's funny to just see it do like weird fight ballet. Nth turtle doesn't have a compromised hull anymore. One more demod. There was no bounty on that? Okay. Blowing up for the betterment of society. Alright, Darren, you are 45 days away from being a paradise planet. What? They're not here? Okay. I will have to figure out where they are then. Barren World, Velfar Star System. I'm in Velfar, so you're at Luke. Oops. So this is definitely a bigger fleet battle, and I'm a little worried that the Conquest won't be able to cut it. Maybe not even the Eradicators. Or the Dominator. If I'm to lose a ship, it's one of those three, I would say. The Aurors have proven that they can like get themselves out of danger very effectively with how fast they are, how quick their shields deploy, and how quick they strike and disengage. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll pop. Maybe they're the weak link. We'll see. Or it could be me. It could be the Paragon. That'd be unexpected. Alright, got enough points for the Dominator. Let's do it. Yep, this is the battlefront. Just making sure. I don't know if the Dominator was solely responsible for fluxing out this Executor, but it probably didn't hurt. Because that Executor, when it started firing, it basically had no flux left and had its hull like whittled away. So whoever was fighting it was very effective at taking out a capital ship despite not being one. Of course, I don't have the benefit of like YouTube pausing and replaying. I can only analyze the ship, the fleet fight in real time. The Conquest has been pretty good at like engaging, dumping damage, and disengaging. It hasn't been as ineffective as I thought it would be. It's definitely circling the main swarm of enemies and just picking them apart. It doesn't focus on a single target well, though. It's not like the Executor or the Onslaught that just, like, absolutely barrages something to death. But if you want everyone to just sort of be harassed, it seems effective, because it is definitely doing that. It's now in a 1v1 versus the Executor, more or less, so I'm curious how that goes up there. About evenly matched at the moment. I think the Executor's coming out ahead. Hard to tell. But it's about to not be a fair fight because the Aurora is getting involved. The Conquest, to be fair, didn't take any damage. And now I'm just gonna end it. So it seems like the Conquest couldn't take out an Executor 1v1, and this Executor... no, they're both equally S-modded, D-modded. The Conquest doesn't have any S-mods and has like D-mods, so yeah, they're equally matched. Yeah, one D-mod, one D-mod. I wasn't impressed, but I wasn't disappointed. Somewhere in between. I'm very tempted to take my, like, yet another I'll just do it. Hell with it. Whatever. Absolutely have no need for my, like, 4th Executor, but it was offered to me free. So, Silver no longer has a D-mod, that's the Conquest, and then Breakfire no longer has unreliable subsystems. Cool. So Breakfire is no longer D-modded as well. And this one lost one of its D-mods in that fight too. Cool. Getting through it quick. I probably should have considered recovering that Falcon. Yeah, its shield arc is pretty poor. Extended shields, auxiliary shields to help it. That would be wise. Strangely enough, that can actually backfire. Not to say that it will, but when you have better shield coverage, you also end up using your shields more frequently, maxing out your flux faster. So the Conquest seemed to have kind of a flux problem, where its main guns that it was using was driving flux up, but not eradicating the enemy all that effectively. And giving it even better shields might actually make the situation worse. I'm sort of curious. Really? Your sub-Ordo is gonna harass me? You know, I'm a bit above your pay grade, pal. Come back with a full Ordo and we can talk. Ooh, that's a good bounty. Maybe I'll head there next. But yeah, I could try a Highland Dimmer, giving it a little bit better shield arc. I'm back here already, so we'll see. Mostly because with the extra salvage ships that I have, I fill up so quickly every fight. Oops, that was open market fuel. Alright. Additional options. Put the ITU in. And then with the 3 points, its shield arc is 90, so we will do a extended and accelerated. So 150 it faster. We'll see if it helps. And then my last S mod, maybe stabilized shields? Because I definitely don't need extended shields. Shield conversion front's kind of funny because you can, obviously the Paragon has a full shield coverage, so you can reduce the amount of damage taken by shields by 5% by just S-modding it. And if you have accelerated shields, it's not that much of a penalty. But of course, with Fortress shields, that's not super helpful. I'm almost tempted to do Unstable Injector. The problem is the weapon range loss would be a bit of a hit, so maybe not. Yeah, I think I'll just do S-modded Stabilized Shields. Even though the Advanced Optics would save more points. Stabilized Shields would give me converts 10% of hard flux damage taken by shields to soft flux, which is nice. No, I'm actually gonna flux coil at it. Didn't think I was gonna do that, but yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I've got some extra points here now. I can do accelerated shields and something else, apparently. Turret gyros. Cool. Auto fit to the disco. So this is the design. I still have 2D mods. I'm also sort of curious about its anti-missile. So I want to see the point defense where, like, I'm going up against a Griffin, little missile cruiser, but I want to see the lasers shoot missiles down, and this is the way to do it. If my main lasers could stop that. So let's see. Yep, see, the lasers are my active point defense now, which is pretty neat. It's definitely interesting to put that as an S mod so that you don't need point defense as a Paragon, and you just go full disco ball. And with the turret gyros that I just added, the lasers will like target and track faster. All right, now here's the main ones, the main guns. Goodbye. Again, this is not meta. I'm not saying it's meta. It's not even close. It's goofy, but like goofy can be fun. So we've got the 4 mil in order to add another orbital hab. I have not, however, found admins for it. There's been none for hire. So here's the thing. I'm going to take a gamble and start building the orbital hab at start angle. We'll do 180. Orbital radius, we'll do 500. Orbital days, 360, so that it's like roughly. Here we go. We now have another orbital hab, and I will need to rush to find an admin for it because I have none. So the current priority now is to build up the fleet and find an admin. I think what I'll do is I'm going to pop into Core Worlds and just see if there's any like derelict missions while we consider the bounties that we could take. Yeah, look at all of these offered missions. So many of them. The other thing I could do is head over to, like, Tritac space to see if there's any, like, commerce raiders or trade fleets or whatever. That's one thing that I intended to have you guys pulled on. Oh, here we go. Here's, like, a corporate trader. So now that I'm staring at a corporate trader, the question is, what actions to take against Tritac? Only self-defense? Self-defense and trade rating, which would be I for an I, or go on the offense 2, which would be disrupting industries. On the ask, because I have the opportunity right now, if you want me to take a slightly more aggressive approach, to blow up their trade fleets. And this is in regards to the colony threat. So I have an ever-increasing crisis from Tritac where they will want to knock me down a peg so that I'm not an economic rival. And as I mentioned in the start of the stream, there's 3 things we can do. We can disrupt their colonies, which is the very aggressive action to take. We can destroy their trade fleets, which is kind of eye for an eye. They're destroying our trade fleets, so we destroy theirs. Or we just destroy their raiders. We just do self-defense. So there's a bit of a balance to be struck here, if you think. And the more aggressive we get, the harder it's going to be ultimately to bounce back our friendly relations. What's a little weird about colony crisis events is there's no way to counter the colony crisis with just like good relations. So you can't just be like, hey, Hegemony, you are 100 out of 100. You're super cooperative with me. How about you don't raid me for AI cores? Like, they just don't care. So there's no way to like out-rep this situation, but you can make it so bad that when you resolve things, you are hostile enough that trade doesn't pick back up. And that's what we're trying not to do. So it looks like eye for an eye is going to be the result here, which means this corporate trader, sorry, bud, we are going to pursue you. Oh, I have been positively notified. So what I'm going to do actually is consider this, but now that I'm in deep space, I want to drop my transponder and attack their fleets with my transponder off. Well, they just got blown up by pirates. But in the future, what I'll do is when I see the corporate traders far away, I'll raid them to move the needle. But we're still positive identified, so I'm going to disengage from this one. But yeah, when I'm looking for work to do in the core, hanging around Tritac space to like mess with them as they are messing with me would be a reasonable thing to do. And then across the wire, you'll occasionally get random messages that there is like commerce fleets, trade fleets, etc. Any fleet that is going to or coming from a Tritac world or any fleet owned by Tritac would otherwise be fair game. Although I don't think I'm going to take the approach where I destroy other factions' fleets that are going to Tritac worlds. So like if this hedge fleet was going to a Tritac world, I probably wouldn't intercept it. I'll only intercept Tritac ships, even though that's not what Tritac's doing to me. So I'm, in effect, being less hostile to them than they are to me. But I suppose it's fine. And the way to get this done, if you really want to harass them, is to hang out around their worlds, which would be Hybrasil and down here at Magic. You know, anywhere there's Tritac world, to see if you can't scoop one of them up. No, I'm not going to be a gravity well camper, but if I see opportunities, I'll take it. Because they are on our radar. There it is, terraforming completed. So this is what this means. We built the Unification Center, and after having fixed a lot of the atmospheric effects, we gain Paradise World. A world dedicated to commerce and trade, mostly inhabited by executives and nobility. I guess being stateless now. Income up 50%, accessibility up 50%, stability up 4%, and production for population, infrastructure, farming, land industry applies to all similar structures up by 1. Ha ha! Alright, obviously, the immediate result is credits per month is insane. It's way the hell up. The Unification Center itself is making a lot of income. We technically have this like poor light condition that is being negated by the solar array that I could get rid of. But our planet is like done. This is its final form, if you will. There's really, I could build like a patrol I guess I'll build a patrol HQ to put out like tiny patrols or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But it's essentially finished. There's not really anything left to put on this thing. So what we're just trying to do now is to get an admin to run the orbital habs so that the orbital habs are not misadministrated, and to resolve everything with Tritac. And to that end, I think what I'm going to do is this. Go to colony threats and escalate the crisis. What that does is it forces Tritac. It's basically saying, hey, Tritac, let's resolve this. Tritac is then going to send an impending mercenary attack on us. So you received intel that Tritac Corporation is allocating funds to hire and equip mercenaries to raid and disrupt me actively. I am not going to intend to bribe them. I did this intentionally. So one way that you can do this is you can basically pay the mercenaries off and have the mercenaries attack Tritac instead. What I'm going to do is I'm going to instead destroy Tritac's mercenary fleet. Instead of paying them off, just be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to beat you with my purse. I'm going to beat you with my power. And that will resolve Tritac. Or at least that event. Derelict ship. Oh, well, we know that there's a derelict ship at Caste or whatever. So, let's go there. And hope that we can find an admin the old-fashioned way. Oh, of course, the only system I enter is not one with a gate. Damn you, Arcadia. We'll go through the Corvus Gate. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's good income. You can see why for another reason why I wanted the Paradise Planet. I am also sort of curious, now that we've, no, competing exports really hasn't gone up that much. Sometimes when you have like a lot of worlds and you're exporting a lot of stuff, you can really piss off Tritac. You can get that like +6 to like a +16 or something. You know, really it scales to your exports. But because we only have one planet and some orbital habs, there's only so much damage we can do. So here's the problem. I know that there's a derelict ship somewhere around here. I have no idea where it is because that mission was withdrawn. So normally derelict missions is like needle and haystack, but this is like a needle and a stack of needles. So, that's good. But it's one of the only leads we have to an admin. It's an ox dug. We can't salvage it, and it didn't have anyone on it. I am sort of curious if that was... Oh, hello. Really? You're gonna fight me? I thought not. They saw us and they're like, nope. We're gonna go now. Ooh, is there a... What's going on over here? Oh, never mind. It's a fleet. Boo. That was probably the only derelict ship. I'm just gonna check this other planet, just to make sure. Do the small fleets that keep intersecting me have a purpose? You mean out in the galaxy map that kept interdicting me or like field draining? Yeah, that's their purpose. Think of it as like sensor errors that you have to clear, not because it's not actually a ship. There's a whole bunch of those types of sensor data error things. So I know that we have the giant fleet battle with Tritac approaching, and I'm going to want to get our fleet ready for that. To fix up the current fleet and then to be ready for just the big fight to come. So, to that end, I'm going to need to hit some of these high-priced bounties to make the money. So, gas giant in Pharos constellation with a giant primary star. Maybe you're Kona? And I could jump to Taish for that. Oh, who are you? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, out in hyperspace, there's a bunch of types of radar glitch error type things that you just have to deal with. So some stalk you, some slow you down, some are like ghost pings. Just par for the course. Trade fleet between Tritech World in 16 days. It's good to know. So the less combat-oriented way to solve it is obviously just to keep raiding their trade fleets, which are like soft targets that don't take much to destroy. And then the more aggressive approach, which doesn't like cost you in rep, is to destroy their mercenaries. But their mercenary fleet is honestly no joke. Which is why I'm putting so much effort into fixing up our own ships. So that I can go toe-to-toe with the Merc fleet and not, like, lose wholesale. Conquest versus Conquest. Let's see it. Maybe our point defense can help out with these, oh, they died off. Right. Yeah, the tack lasers aren't, like, powerful enough to stop the dragon fires. Well, actually, we blew up a few of them. Because it's not designed to be point defense, so they're not super effective at point defense, but they're not bad either. Again, I did it more as a joke, so I could just be pure disco ball. So I have no regrets. Didn't they have 2 conquests? Did one of their other conquests just, like, die without me noticing? Must have. Oh, it's way down there. Okay. I was wondering about that. I was like, huh, I would have noticed that they lost one, I think. What even is this build? Its entire rear section there is all flat cannons. It's like, are you really that paranoid? I mean, I guess I know the answer. Here, with all the flat cannons that you have, that does nothing to a Paragon, which uses no missiles and no fighters. And you're facing your flak side to me? A+. That's like knowing that I'm going to throw rocks and you're going, okay, you're throwing rock, I'm throwing scissors, man. That's the right move. No, don't blow up. Don't overcommit. Back up, you moron. No. Okay. Dennis Keith couldn't save himself. I really needed... I mean, I like Eradicators because when they work, they're great. Because they, like, get up in the face of dangerous enemies and just, like, drop their entire payload of missiles. But when they don't work, it's such a waste of deployment points and supplies and crew because they self-eradicate. And I need to stop fielding them. It's just like, enough's enough. My roars are not blowing themselves up. Because they're just not working for the fleet comp. They're great when they're escorting, like, a whole bunch of onslaughts and legions, and there's enough mass, armor mass, to sort of blend in, if you will, but with our fast-moving fleet, it's not working. Because, like, what ends up happening is the Eradicator and the Aurora enter the fight, and then the Aurora's like, okay, Flux got hot and leaves, leaving the Eradicator there, and the Eradicator's like, oh, and then it blows up. So you have 3 D-mods. I'm gonna let them go. And you didn't pick out any new D-mods, so, like, I guess I'll keep you. But this is last morning. And Turtle and Keith. So I only have 1 more D-mod on the Paragon, which is what? Unreliable subsystems. Cool. Yeah, the Eradicators, some of this is, when I enter the fights, I'm, like, consistently entering the fight as, like, a full assault. So to some degree or another, I am setting up the Eradicators to fail, because what I could do is I could set them up as wingmen wingmen to bigger ships, or giving them orders that isn't just, like, go do whatever. It's just, I don't want to play slow enough to have to micromanage them. I'd rather set my ships up to a set and forget kind of style of admiral, where I'm not having to micromanage them, because I just don't want to micromanage them. It's just a personal preference. The constant micromanagement required for some ships is just a bother. I don't get stuck doing that. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Homeworld, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com has a link to it. as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow officers.